Guys, it's Fonzie with DipYourCar.com. This is the Dipping Industry DipCast video podcast, episode number 33. Velez, what's that in Espanol? Exactly. This is Fonzie from Dip Your Car. Of course, with me always is Adam and our sound engineer who pretends to be Latin, Dan. We've got a very interesting episode for you guys today. Hopefully we got some new stuff. Some teasers are out there. I know you love throwing teasers out there. Adam's always exciting, quick tip of the week, and some other things that Adam will summarize for us right now.
All right, so stole some of my thunder there, took away my quick tip
No,
of
I
the week.
built it up.
We're going to touch base a little bit on some waves we've been making. Waves we've been making with Instagram recently.
We have been.
Yep, we're going to touch base on some teasers that you recently posted up on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk a little bit about the new DYI video that's going to launch or has launched. And we're going to do our showcase shoutouts and remind everybody to make sure they exercise their right to vote for the featured monthly installer, as well as the Dip of the Month contest.
Which are both very close races right now.
Right.
Are they close races?
Yes, they are.
Okay. There was when I checked it earlier.
Dip of the Month is crazy close, and there's so many good cars in that.
Yeah, very, very cool. We got a quick stat of the day, new segment. No.
Normally you do.
I know. I'm
Well,
not going to put the graphic up because you did it. We had the most submissions for Dip of the Month this month, which was August 2015, than any other month in the history of DipYourCar.com.
That's awesome.
In 4 years. It was huge, to the point where Jared and I were sitting down at all these submissions going, how are we going to jam all these and whittle it down into one contest? So very, very exciting there, and some super sweet stuff. That
not only shows that the industry is just building, but also the fact that people are so confident that and proud of their work that they're sending it in saying, yeah, my dip job should be in the Dip of the Month contest.
Dip of the Month contest. Very, very big. Okay, what's the first thing that we're
First thing is
on?
The recent posts about Dip Your Car on some rather big Instagram pages.
Yeah, we wanted to give everybody a quick heads up. If you're an Instagram person, what we did is we got some awesome partnerships together with some of the major automotive Instagram specific pages out there. You're going to see Dip Your Car posts showcasing dipped cars on the following Instagram pages for the next month, basically. Motohead. Yep. Amazing Cars.
Well, I
mean, if you're going to be Vanna White, be Vanna White.
Well, no.
There's others, and I'm trying to remember. Oh, Cars Without Limits, another big one. Right there, that's already like 7 million people all put together. Dirty Whips, and a couple others. Very large accounts, and we're really trying to make sure that we put the time in and resources in to put dipped cars in front of as many people as we possibly can. Really open their eyes. If they think that a dipped car is an old clunker sitting in a parking lot that got rattle canned, that's covered in carpet fuzz and tiger stripes, it's time to continue to open people's eyes and make sure that they know that, no, a dipped car can be every bit as beautiful as anything else out there. So again, and you know what, let me just put these out there. We're going to tell people that I know they're going to want to follow these accounts. If you're not already, Motohead, Automotive Exposure, Amazing Cars, Cars Without Limits, Dirty Whips, and there's one more large one that we're working on closing the deal with right now. So we're getting dipped cars in front of people. And, some of those dipped cars are going to be user cars. I know, there's a couple ones that are coming up, and of course we give the installer or the user credit on their Instagram account. I know Jason Brozak, who did that nasty Mustang. We got his out there, and of course gave him credit. I know that
Custom Coatings.
Yeah, Joe Kilgallen from Custom Coatings. We got that sick Black Cherry M3 up there. He got, of course, his shop and the owner of that car got credit for that. We're looking out there. We're trying to put very, very beautiful cars in front of people and make sure they understand how beautiful and how stunning a dip job can be, or a liquid wrap job. So that covers that. If you're on Instagram, follow those pages for the next 30 days, and then when Dip Your Car stops working on them, you can drop them.
Drop it like it's hot.
Well, like
Right?
something that you don't want to follow anymore.
All right. So you recently, as of when we're recording, did some teasers just a few minutes ago of some really cool stuff. And do you want to touch base on that?
Yeah, I guess we got to the studio to record, and maybe 10 minutes before that, I put a teaser video up on Facebook, on Dippers Anonymous. And essentially, I want to share some things with you guys whenever I can. And what that means is if I'm testing something and I'm a couple steps into that testing phase to where it looks like it's something that's going to be sticking around a while and it's showing some promise, I usually try to share that with you guys to help you guys follow, along the process with me along the way. A lot of people ask if dip, if you want to call it dip or liquid wraps, removable coatings, will ever have a consistent, reliable, trustworthy coating to go on top of it to essentially make it gasoline and scratch resistant. Proof is a tough word to use. Gasoline proof, scratch proof. What you're doing when you're saying proof is you're giving a guarantee. If it's anything but absolute at that point, you're failing. So resistant, extremely resistant even at this point. And I think what you're going to find is as the future continues to go and more coatings come out and we work with more people and more companies that are really putting a lot of time and effort into this, you're going to have options as a person using these products. You're going to have the ability to shoot straight PDS and have a flat matte car with no special attributes to it. You can throw your pearls on top. You can have different options for different types of gloss finishes. You're going to have options for protective coatings, something as simple as a dip coat for daily scratch resistance and helping it feel nice and slick, all the way up to something that is going to really give it what would be just a regular old OEM cars consistency and confidence, where yes, you rub up against it with your keys out of your pocket, you're not going to mar down the side of it and now you've got a permanent scar on your car. It's going to be one of those things where as a user of these products, I think it's going to continue to evolve and you're going to have options. It's all about the trade-offs. There's going to be options that give you everything you could ever want in a removable coating, and it's all about, at that point, what equipment is needed for that, what environment is needed for that, what's the application steps that are required to get that. So it's going to be one of those you have to pay to play,
right?
But you have options. You could take it as little or as far as you want.
Right.
That teaser, which there will be more of them coming along the way, is just a testament to the evolution of the coating world. If you're going to ask me what coating is on that car, as far as what enhancer or what enhancement, I don't want to use the word enhancer because then you think Performix Plasti Dip. Just think of something, I like to play with stuff that plays very well and very compatible with Plasti Dip products, because the Plasti Dip products are the core, the foundation of the Dip Your Car brand. So if you see me playing with something, it's going to definitely be something that I've already been testing for a while, something that plays really well with Plasti Dip products.
And is peelable.
Well, yeah, and then I said this on Facebook. If it wasn't peelable, I wouldn't even waste your time.
Right.
So more will come. I think as it's all about time.
Right.
That's what it is at this point. It's just about time. It's about getting products out into the real world, letting them get beat up, letting them get daily wear and tear, letting them get washed and scrubbed down and scratched and poured gas on and, all these things to make sure that if we put something in your hands, we know exactly how it's going to behave, and it's something that we would put on our own cars. And we've been through this dance 100 times. You guys know how we do things. So it's about options. There's not going to be just one holy grail coating out there. You're going to have options, and I think that's a beautiful thing as a consumer.
Absolutely. All right, so that's about all we're going to say about that. Recently, we sent out some emails
Mhm.
about a video
Yep.
that we were going to put together of DYI dip jobs. And that's something that you've been working on, I know. And I don't know if you wanted to talk a little bit about that and,
Well,
and why you decided to do that. And
yeah, it wasn't even my decision, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, right now it's Thursday at 7:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. By the time this episode airs, I'm sure that the video that we're talking about is out there. And the reason why I wanted to discuss it on the show is because I want people to be aware of it. I want you to be on the lookout for it, because it's we work really close with a company called CarBuzz. They're the second largest automotive website in the world. I mean, if you're talking about traffic, that website and their mobile app is absolutely slammed on a daily basis.
I was going to say no pun intended.
Maybe there was a little pun intended.
All right.
But
Pun intended.
we work very closely with them. It's an excellent group of guys and gals, and they have an awesome vision. The people at CarBuzz really want to put interesting content in front of people. They picked up the story about us doing the Ferrari and working with Vossen and that whole adventure. And when we were talking to one of the editors there, they had mentioned that we really want to see a video showcasing not just you spraying a car. Do you have any footage of your customers spraying the cars, so that people know it's not just something that one guy can do? A little bit more of a connection. Hey, if that guy can do it, that guy can do it, and that guy can do it, maybe I can do it too. I said, you know what? I don't have a collection of that footage, but there's no reason in the world why we couldn't get it. So we put the contest out there. We got a ton of submissions in. We really tried to whittle it down to the ones that we think would connect with the viewers. We had to keep it short. We didn't want to go over like the 6 or 7 minute mark. So you're talking about all these different submissions that we got, and trying to select those just the right amount of footage and get it into a small. Even if you sit there and watch a 6 or 7 minute video, that's long from a video
YouTube,
point of view.
Absolutely.
I mean, you want to continue moving, and God knows what else is going on. I mean, Dan's got the attention span of like a gopher or something.
Not true.
It's just so quick. Next. You talk to him, and you can just see him just moving on to something else in his mind.
Is that really Gopher has a short attention span?
You know what? I think it's a product of the video games. That's what it is.
No, that's what it is.
Because
What,
it's
Gophers
just
play a lot of
constant
video
thing.
games?
No, with him, you keep going on the Gopher thing.
Well, I mean,
Google it after, find out. They may not have a big attention span, or maybe they do. And if they do, I apologize.
Next
well,
topic.
It's a compliment to you.
See, he's already on the next topic. He's like,
Gopher.
move on. But with that said, we compiled a video of a bunch of dippers applying the products to their cars. It's going to be a video full of people that you guys are, and you've seen before on the Facebook groups and the DYC community. So that video is going to go live. We're very excited about it, and CarBuzz is going to be doing a feature on it. They're going to be sharing this with the entire CarBuzz community. So it's going to get a lot of eyeballs on it. So keep an eye out for that video. If you haven't seen it already, definitely check it out. And if you're in the video, cool. I like that. I like that we can put some people in there, man. Very cool.
Well, ultimately, that is probably the biggest showcase shout out right there is, on that video.
One up. And it's funny you say that. That's the exact emotions I got when we came up with that idea. I was thinking, this is going to be just like showcase shout outs. I'm going to be able to get people some limelight, some spotlight, get them out there, make them feel proud. Showcase shout outs was something that we wanted to do, and we were pretty sure that people would enjoy it.
Right.
But it took on a whole different life, not when we put the pictures up, but when you get the private messages or the emails from the people whose pictures you put up. And they tell you how it made their day or how big of a deal it was for them and how much. I think they like getting recognition.
Oh, absolutely. Who doesn't?
But you know what? It's an isolation thing too, because if you're dipping your car and you're in some random city in the middle of whatever state, I don't want to isolate anything, and maybe you dip your car, you do a sick job, you pull it off, you do it, it just comes out outstanding, and you're looking around and there's no one there to really appreciate it. There's no one who gets it or knows what you did or what products you used or how difficult it was. And the dipping community and the people that are in this are the ones that are going to give you the recognition that you want. And you do something, a big project like that, it definitely feels good for people to tell you how good of a job you did.
Oh, absolutely.
So that video is out. There'll be a link somewhere. I'll probably forget to put it on, but keep an eye out for it. I think the name of the video is "Change the Color of Your Car by Yourself." I think that's what it is. So you'll see it on our YouTube channel.
It's going to be stacked up right next, to this or close to it.
Yes, it'll be a recent one.
All right, and then we can kind of snowball that into the showcase shoutouts if you'd like.
Are you skipping your segment again?
No, I mean we'll come back to it. I just thought that was a great transition. That's what we call. You got to think on your feet.
I guess, but didn't in the beginning he say that we were going to close out with showcase shoutouts?
I did, but if the situation lends itself,
I'll try to adapt
to just that good transition.
But I put so much time into structuring how the show's going to go in my head and all these different things. And
Adam's just calling audibles.
Unbelievable. You're lucky.
If you ever looked at the show sheet, well, you don't look at the show sheet, so it really shouldn't matter.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Whatever topics you tell me, usually after the summary in the beginning, I've already forgotten what we're going to talk about.
Exactly. So
showcase shoutouts. That's how you get a graphic up there. We've got a really cool collection of them. I was actually excited about this week, for sure. Let me pull these up so I can eyeball them. Dan, I know you wanted to see them, so maybe you can kind of snake around.
Oh, I'm creeping.
And eyeball these with me. Adam, you don't get to see anything.
Yeah, well, I usually don't. That's why the Josh Menhart cheeseburger was such a great unveil.
You just calling the dude cheeseburger now?
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, regardless, Josh the cheeseburger Menhart.
He's awesome.
He is. When you put that graphic up here, I didn't see it until the show was over.
Absolutely.
So it was kind of like, trying to look around the forest with a blindfold on. When you were describing it, I actually didn't believe it. I didn't believe it.
It was awesome.
It was.
Super cool episode. All right, number 1, James Fisk. He's got what I believe to be a Gen Coupe every time. And I don't even realize it until now.
Right.
Every time a Gen Coupe sneaks into the showcase shoutouts. He's got a burnt copper alloy Gen Coupe, black trim, black wheels, very, very clean. Beautiful dip job that he put together here.
That pearl lends itself to that car so well.
That pearl lends itself to everything. You
Right.
could put that on a freaking moped and it would look outstanding.
A veil.
Oh, that's... next one. Anthony, who goes by Anthony Dipper. I'm going to guess it's not his real last name, but at this point, you never know.
That would be quite ironic.
It would be fantastic. This guy did a Nissan Altima, I believe it is. There's a lot going on in this car, and I'm going to list it out. And if you want to know what the layering was on it, you're going to have to comment on the video on Facebook or ask him. Carbon blue, which is a lot of these are all KP colors, KP pigments. Carbon blue, Monsoon, Europa, all working together on this. If I had to guess, I'd say Carbon Blue went down first, and then a mixture of Monsoon and Europa on top of that, and then blasted with DYC Top Coat, looking super glossy and beautiful. And he's got some kind of copper on the wheels. I don't know if those are dipped or when they were. It didn't specify, but that car looks super fresh right there. Next one, Steven. Very cool, man. This is a Jurassic Park Jeep. You just can't go wrong. I've seen 4 or 5 Jurassic Park Jeeps over the 4 years that we've been doing this business. And every time I see one, you just look at it and you're like, that is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I helped out a couple gentlemen that were doing that when the latest movie came out. And it's exciting to see those dip jobs, how creative people can be. And that's the beauty of the product. Put it on, movie's hot. When it's not, peel it off.
And I believe he's driving that in a parade actually pretty soon.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Dinosaur parade?
Maybe.
Dan's random stat of the week. Next one, Jake. This is right up Jared's alley, our media manager. This is a Volkswagen GLI in intense teal. Dropped. I believe it's got some kind of crazy roof rack on it. It's got a Euro plate up there. This is right up Jared's
I was going to say,
alley.
you could be describing Jarrett's car right now.
I may be and not even know it. I mean, it looks so good. It's so clean, and I love intense teal when it's done. It's just one of those clean, really fresh colors. And it works really well on this car. He's got black trim. He's got all the things done right on this car. It looks very Euro, which is what Jared wants to see all the time. So he should be really happy with that one. Jake did a badass job on that. Charles Ferris Jr. makes his way onto Showcase Shoutouts again with his, I believe it's a Cobalt. I don't want to misquote that. I know that these guys are very particular
I think it's
and
Cobalt.
they should be proud. This is black base, dip pearl top coat with deep sea blue.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful blue. Everybody knows that. And then you've got dip pearl top coat on top for gloss. It's a very angry looking car. It's got a lot of attitude for a small car like that. Black wheels, nice, beautiful sheen. He did yellow, I believe.
I was going to say
Nebula
Nebula
yellow last time. And he's 2 for 2 now.
See, and the cool thing about that is you took one car and you gave it 2 such distinctly different personalities. You know, when you did it Nebula Yellow and then when you do it something like Deep Sea Blue.
Yes, absolutely. Very, very cool. 2 for 2. Well done. Victory. Next one. Matthew Shanks. I believe this guy's been on Showcase Shots as well.
Yes.
This is, he calls this his 4-pole Evo or Lancer. It's a very Japanese looking car. It's got some crazy deep sea blue patterns going down the side. Whenever I see stuff like this, I love to give it a little bit of love because, again, I say it all the time. This is the epitome of a job I don't have patience for.
Right.
I don't know if he did this with all tape. I don't know if he gridded it out with vinyl. I don't know if he had to measure it all. But God, man, I mean, this is very sharp lines, geometrically symmetrical. I don't have the patience or the energy for that. I really respect when people pull stuff off like that.
Because if your tape lines aren't right, you're gonna be able to tell.
Absolutely. And then finishing up, probably the most powerful vehicle that we had for the entire episode. Rob Kitts does his daughter's Little Tykes plastic mobile. He did blaze pink and blaze purple with RL71 over the whole thing. She looks super cute in it. She looks like she loves it. I guarantee you, if I was, a parent, or I am a parent, I keep forgetting.
No, you're going to touch that.
Wow. I'm going to want to do that. I mean, it's fun to say that I can do that now when he gets old enough, but every time I used to see that, I go, man, if I ever have a kid, I'm totally going to do a Power Wheels or one of these Little Tykes. But that's awesome, doing stuff like that. I'm sure she loved her new color.
He's got his car in the Showcase Shoutouts, I think, a couple weeks ago.
Probably. Yeah.
With that
Subaru.
crazy mixture.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's got his daughter's Hot Wheels or Power Wheels or whatever. Well, I wonder what he's going to do for his wife's car.
It's a question for Rob, but what I'll say is this is very sharp, and I love the creativity. So that concludes our Showcase Shoutouts of the week.
Right, and that'll flow right into, the cherry on top, the epitome of what every DipCast should be.
It's the climax of the show.
It is. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
The quick tip of the week.
What's the quick tip of the week this week, Adam?
Well, I've seen this a lot, and I've seen this from newbies to people that have been dipping for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can dip over top of old dip. People should know that.
Yep.
But what are the steps somebody should take before making that transition? I have people call all the time. Hey, I have 3 gallons of Flex Blue down on my car. Do you think I should spray over top of it? Do you think I should peel it off? What are the benefits, the drawbacks to dipping over top of old dip?
Do you want to take that, or do you want me to do it?
No, I mean, they don't care what I say. I mean, they'd be calling into DipYourCar.com if they cared what I had to say, which a lot of them do. But
basically, you have a couple things you need to look at. The first thing anyone ever, I say to anybody if they say, can I just dip over my old dip, is what's the texture of your old dip like?
Right.
Because as you build up new coats as you build up coats in general, even if you're starting fresh, every coat you throw on leads you to the potential, the danger of texture. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean texture that looks like sandpaper or little nubs everywhere. If you're getting sandpaper or grit or nubs everywhere, you're just, something's wrong. You're spraying from too far away. The gun's dialed down too much. Something like that. When I say texture, I'm talking about like an orange peel or some waves or, a little bit of that kind of like canyon look where it's not laying perfectly flat.
Mm-hmm.
You throw 6 coats of PDS black on a car versus 15 coats. I don't care who's spraying it or who you are, the 15's not going to be as flat as the 6. So the first thing you do is you look at the texture of the car. If it's laying super flat and it's a nice flat surface to work on, you can go right over that because chances are, because you already have your substrate built up underneath, you don't have to worry about the durability or the peelability. You just have to worry about the color change.
Right.
So if you're going from black and blue to gunmetal gray, you may only need 2 coats and you're done.
Right.
Maybe you need to do a pearl or something like that. But first thing you do is you look at the texture. If you have texture now, if you look at it and you say, I'm not happy with the texture that's on the car, don't think putting a new color on will correct that. It will exaggerate it.
Right.
So if you can't give the car a green light from texture from minute 1, just peel it and start fresh.
Mm-hmm.
If it is laying flat, you can run with it. What you have to do to the car, first of all, you have to wash it.
Mm-hmm.
Scrub it down, especially if you've been using dip coat or any of that type of product. You don't want that on the product or on the car. Now, granted, you can dip over a dip coated car, but just take the precaution. Make sure that you don't have too much built up or anything like that. Give the car a really good scrub and a good wash. And of course, it has to be bone freaking dry, totally dry.
And what people not everybody understands about that always is, just because the surface area looks dry doesn't mean the car is dry.
No.
And I use this all the time is you wash your car, and unless you're down here in South Florida, you can drive 24 hours later even and trim. All of a sudden, you're going to see beads of water running up your windshield and things like that. That'll happen.
Absolutely. I can't stress that enough, too. That's one of those things where people are like, I towel dried it. I used the air compressor on it. I blew all the water out. No, you didn't, man.
Right.
You didn't. And that's why in the How to Dip a Car, the complete guide video, it instructs you, wash the car day 1, dip the car day 2. Don't wash the car and then dip it 6 hours later after sitting in your garage. The water and the moisture did not evaporate. Mm-hmm. And water is like dip's kryptonite. There's just no beating it.
Right.
No wordplay there? Okay. Beating it. Anyway. Velez is over there looking at his shoes.
Oh.
You were doing that.
Don't try to deflect because you swung and a miss.
No, I
just move on.
I will accept 100% of it. I still think it was there. Nobody was paying attention is the problem. You don't want you got to make sure it dries overnight. And pre-dip just like a regular car. Mm-hmm. Pre-dip with a microfiber towel. You got to make sure that the dip is super clean and you want it to be dry because one of the most important things is you want the new dip to bond with the old dip. Mm-hmm. You don't want anything on there to impede the dip from kind of coming together and reliquefying and bonding. So that A, of course, you can avoid any type of bubbling or lifting at all. And B, when you do peel everything off, you want to peel it in one nice, beautiful sheet.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one thing. I just kind of put it simply. I do go into depth like that, but really prep the car as though it hasn't ever been dipped.
Yeah.
I mean,
just follow the same routine.
Right.
And I guess just don't shortchange anything thinking there's already dip on the car.
Right.
Because you're just running as much risk as anything else.
Right. Well,
so, but you can definitely do it, and it's a great way to do a quick color change because, like I said, you don't have to worry about building up anything underneath it.
We'll often talk to people about that, when they call, and if they're really interested in doing one of those higher-end pearls, an alien pearl, a white-based pearl, but it's their first time dipping, a lot of our technicians and customer service staff will mention to them, hey, listen, spray a couple coats of black, leave it on your car for 4, 5, 6 months. As long as it's still looking good and fresh, prep it, then attack a white-based pearl or, a higher-end pearl because you have the experience of dipping, taking care of the dip, prepping for the dip, mm-hmm. and you have at least one under your belt.
Yep, absolutely. And we do it all the time to our shop cars, our video cars.
Right.
It's very rare that a video car will get one color peel. The driving cars, the Porsche, the other cars that we actually physically drive will usually get peeled nice and clean. But the regular video cars in the stable, the Evo, the Mustang, the S4, the A4, even some of the other ones, they will stack them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just stack on stack, coat on coat,
Well,
color on color.
That was not really necessarily a quick tip, but I think a vital one.
Yeah, it was very relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know what? I can't wait, and we say this all the time. One of the best parts about the DipCast, besides the showcase shoutouts, is when you see one of those threads starting to build of a question that's been answered in a video or a DipCast, and 3 or 4 people, hey, episode 33, the DipCast. And this has been coming up a lot of, because so many people are finding out about the product and starting. So many people have a dip job under their belt and are saying, hey, can I dip over old dip? And I can't wait to see episode 33 just get posted over and over and over and over.
I will be looking out
and
for
over.
that. Beautiful. Dan, do you want to add anything?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, trying to dip that video soon.
When you say trying, what does that mean?
I'm trying to get your permission so I can get in the garage.
You haven't asked.
I think I've asked a couple of times.
Not one time.
I've heard
lies.
You've asked me? What have you asked me?
When can I dip the Aveo? I believe were my exact words.
You can't put it.
You got to pick a date.
Well, I mean, okay, we'll pick a date. We'll have to sit down and figure it out. Oh, I can't do it tomorrow.
Procrastinate. No, you can't do it tomorrow. We got some stuff going on. We'll get it done, and we'll do the time lapse, and Adam will be there to help. Absolutely. Does that wrap us up?
That's it.
All right. Well, for Dan and his Aveo, and Adam and his quick tip of the week, it's Fonzie. We'll check you on the next episode.